This is a Slim Harpo tune called Raining in My Heart. Something that Richard Newell, King Biscuit Boy, loved to sing, and every time we sing it, we think of him. Your love, darling, you know just why. Honey, if you could just come on back home, there'll be no need for me to cry.
You've got me crying, about to lose my mind. Don't let me cry, babe. Just try my love just once again.
That's Les Smith on the harmonica, Sonny Del Rio on the sax, Donna Pajisak on vocals, Hamilton's own Trick Bag.
Thank you.
This is Gary Gnu.
Hi everybody, it's Friday night. Welcome to the patio.
Only TV Gnu's program guaranteed to contain no Gnus whatsoever.
Canadian Combat Coalition, because their leader has got balls this fucking big and he don't mind telling you how it is. Duke Willis, only one I respect.
Well, you put me down.
2017 ended with me getting mobbed by Antifa in Niagara Falls. My buddies and I were abandoned by George Halleck and the Storm Alliance because I posted a pic about beating the hell out of Antifa. George didn't like that. I wound up getting hot chocolate and bottles of water dumped on me, and my buddy rode his Harley right through the crowd of Antifa. We had fun. Thanks, George.
Get me a job working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The only one that I got any respect for from Patriot Group is Duke Willis, because he'll fucking tell you how it is. He's just telling you how it is.
Well, I'm gonna start doing everything that I do.
With the exception of CCC and Duke Willis. You got a leader there that don't give a fuck. He'll tell you how it is, and I like him.
Turn Labor Day weekend into Labor Day week. Shut the country down for an entire week. Just stay home.
But for you Patriot Groups, Duke Willis, you're the only one with any balls, buddy. Thumbs up, you're the only one with any fucking balls out there.
On the Patio, live Friday nights at 9, Facebook and YouTube. Join the show via Skype or Facebook Messenger. Just look for Duke Willis. Wear your tinfoil hat. Things tend to get a little crazy on the patio. If this video
individuals can inspire, but it is the
doesn't
millions,
kind of
the millions,
tighten
it is
the
people
muscles
that
in
make
your
change.
throat,
People, we have
if
to
this
make
video
change.
doesn't make your lower lip quiver just a little bit, if it doesn't make your breath catch in your chest just a little bit, then you're a sad, cold-hearted motherfucker and I don't want to know you.
That they keep coming. Add one more name from Ontario and carry me home down the highway of heroes. People above with the flags flying low. Carry me softly down the highway of heroes. True patriot love, there was never more. I serve with distinction, no visions of glory. I serve without question, a personal gain. Seek no justification, it's not part of my story, and it offers no comfort to the ones who remain. Just carry me home down the highway of heroes. People above, but the flags flying low. Carry me softly down the highway of heroes. True patriot love, there was never more.
So a couple nights ago, I was down here doing some editing, and part of this video is what I was editing and using in another video. And my 23-year-old daughter came downstairs, and she said, "Dad, you gotta stop playing this video." I kind of looked at her. She said, "Every time you play this, it makes me cry."
No consolation in the forgotten rain. So carry me home down the highway of heroes. People above with the flags flying low. Carry me softly down the highway of heroes. True patriot love.
Sorry, Yeah, that's a true story. That was, I think, what night was I? That was Wednesday night. So 2 nights ago, she came down and told me that. Now I forget what I was going to say. Huh. George Costanza. Hey, I'm banned from Facebook for 7 days. 7 days? 7 days? What the hell kind of pussified wimp are you? 7 days. They gave me 90 days the beginning of 2018. I did 30. 3 days before I was supposed to get out, they notified me that I got another 30 days. Did 60 days. A week before I was supposed to get out of Facebook jail, they told me I got another 30 days. Then I got out for 4 days, and they put me back in for a week, and then let me out. And I haven't been back in since. That was January, February, March, and a week of April in 2018. I'm a professional ex-Facebook jail convict. I want to let Mark in Grand Bend, Mike in Calgary, and Dave in Hoyt, New Brunswick. You guys, your DVDs go in the mail tomorrow morning. You should see them by the end of next week. And they're bright green. You can't miss them. Okay? I'm not going to turn them around and show people the addresses on the front, but freedom isn't free. A JFK quote, "Fear not the path of truth for the lack of people walking it. And any man willing to give up freedom for security deserves neither." Abraham Lincoln. And this one is going to Grand Bend, Ontario. Never before have so many known so little about so much. A quote from Russell Rogers Smith. I try and put something different on the back of each package that goes out, because keep in mind, the mailman, all the postal workers, hundreds of people handle these packages as they go across the country. Why should the message be limited to what's on the inside of the package? I got a blank surface on the back of these packages going out. Everyone that touches them has a 50-50 chance of seeing this message on the back. So I use the fucking space, because it's all about getting the message out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. Anybody that's got my DVDs, anybody that's received them and puts them out, I know you've popped them in and watched them. You will testify to the fact that these videos aren't about, come watch Duke, send Duke money. That's not what they're about. They're all about getting the fucking word out. From Faith Goldie to Billy Joyce to Tom Quiggin to Amazing Polly to Doug Force. It's all about Canadian truthers other than me getting the word out. That's what these DVDs are. And they're going in the mail to you three guys tomorrow morning, so you should see them by the end of next week. Anybody else that wants a pack of 10 bucks, okay, for a pack of 10 DVDs, I send them to you in sleeves. Doug Force is going to be sending me, he sent me a few business cards, okay. I've been putting these in with the DVDs. Just one per pack. That's all I've got for now. He's going to be sending me more so that I can put one into each sleeve with a DVD. Okay? But that's down the road. Once he gets some more cards made up, I'll be putting them in to the sleeves of each DVD, because the DVDs all come sleeved. Huh? I don't have any raw burned ones here. They're all out in my car waiting to go to... I'm going to a sidewalk protest tomorrow, and I just took another stack of 10 out to my car, so I've now got 60 of them sitting in my car. I'm ready for a busy day tomorrow in downtown St. Catharines. In the YouTube chat room, Maggie Dick says, now he's trying to take our guns. Good luck with that, asshole. We're taking our country back. Well, Maggie, now you know. Like, here he is passing laws to take our guns. I don't know, for the past 2 years, I've been telling people, your best friend is a 5.5 foot long piece of 8-inch round PVC pipe and a couple of end caps. A post hole auger. Sorry, officer, I don't remember what happened to those guns. Maybe they're up north at my hunting camp. They can't take away from you what they can't find. A watertight, glued shut hunk of PVC and a post hole auger. They ain't going to take away what they can't find. To quote Jorgen Volrath standing in the back of a pickup truck in the middle of Alberta, fuck 'em! Sorry if, well, no, I'm not sorry if that offended you. I take pity on you if that offended you. Lan, no, I'm sorry. The May DVD is not out yet. I'm still waiting on copyright clearance from Hugh Riley at Liquid Lunch with thatchannel.com. By the way, folks, thatchannel.com, if you're ever looking for some really good interview programs, go check out some of the interviews that Hugh Riley does. I surfed through thatchannel.com and on their YouTube, That Channel. Go check it out. I surfed through there. Hugh Riley, which is the host of the show Liquid Lunch, where Doug Force always goes on thatchannel.com. Hugh Riley has done some amazing interviews with some really unique individuals. You should go check it out. It's a site well worth, if you're bored on a Sunday afternoon or something, thatchannel.com. Go check it out. It's a pretty cool site. Sandra McDonald's asking, what am I protesting? Do I have any of my signs here? We could start with handing over control of our borders to the United Nations. We could start with taxing the hell out of Canadians and sending all our money overseas to support foreign regimes and aid to foreign countries that don't deserve it. That's just for starters, darling. Where do you want to go from there? Passing legislation that puts Canadians as second-rate citizens compared to followers of specific ideologies. How deep you want to get into it, Sandra? I'm kind of tired. It's been a long 60-hour work week. We could discuss how our current federal government thinks it has the right to take away our guns, or how the Ontario provincial government thinks it has the right to own our organs unless we opt out of the organ donor program on our driver's license. Yes, the Doug Ford PC government is looking to change the Ontario driver's license organ donor program from an opt-in to an opt-out. Maybe you want to talk about that, Sandra. Maybe you want to talk about how Doug Ford, dear Mr. I'm the man for the people. Doug, suck my fucking dick, you traitorous cocksucking motherfucking bastard Ford promised us up and down, and I got it on video if you want to see it. 3 times he was here in St. Catharines flapping his gums about how he was going to get rid of this whole liberal, modern, new sex education program with multiple genders. And what did dear Mr. Doug Ford just do back in January? Announced that his government is reintroducing gender identity to elementary grade school children. Fuck the government, Sandra. What else do you want to protest about, Sandra? How 51% of the controlling shares of the Wheat Board of Canada were sold by our conservative Prime Minister Mulroney to none other than Saudi Arabia. And today, our wheat farmers and our, what is it that they're not buying right now? Canola that they're not buying. All of it controlled by the Wheat Board of Canada, which is controlled by Saudi Arabia. Gee, you wonder why the fuck it's not being bought internationally? Wake the fuck up, Sandra McDonald. What else you want to protest about, Sandra? Huh? Maybe you want to protest about the flooding here in Lake Ontario. You know, the great big huge body of water whose level is actually controlled by man through a series of dams starting in Cornwall. Through man-made dams, they can physically raise the level of Lake Ontario 18 inches, artificially flooding southern Ontario. Gee, I wonder why it's flooding in Toronto and Hamilton and Niagara right now. It must be global warming! Did you know that they can use dams to block off the largest body of fresh water anywhere in the world, called Lake Superior, and put 8 inches of water on the entire surface of Lake Superior? Lake Superior and Lake Ontario, the only 2 lakes of the 5 Great Lakes that can be dammed and artificially elevated, are the only 2 lakes that are claiming all kinds of property and shoreline damage due to unusually high waters. Gee, the newspapers and global TV are all fucking screaming, "It's global warming!" Meanwhile, it's the only 2 Great Lakes that can be controlled by man as to how high they are. What else you want to protest about, Sandra McDonald? Please, tell me. I got a whole big fucking list of shit we can protest about. Like, seriously. Maybe we should protest about all the friggin' 20-somethings and teenagers that are jumping off the St. Paul Street West Bridge onto the 406 highway here in St. Catharines. My kids and I talk about it all the time. Because, believe it or not, my 2 daughters and my son-in-law were walking across that bridge just last month, and still now today joke about the fact that they think they saved a guy's life by telling him, no, don't jump, and got him to walk across the bridge with them. They didn't know if he was going to jump or not. He was just standing there looking over the railing. But they talked him into walking across the bridge with them, and they kind of half joked that, who knows, maybe we did save the guy's life. But like my oldest daughter says, what do you expect from kids these days? Our schools teach them that everything is going to be hunky-dory and rosy and happy and joyful. You can be whatever you want to be. But when you get out of school, you got to go and work and perform, and nobody gets a participation award. And they don't care if you think you're a purple unicorn. Reality sets in. Why the fuck do you think kids are killing themselves? Because you stupid, lame-ass, lazy parents don't do fuck all about the shit they're being taught at school and the brainwashing that's going on. And when they step out of that artificial environment called post-secondary education, it goes from kindergarten right straight through to 4th and 5th year university and postgraduate studies, artificial communities in every one of those universities. The real world doesn't exist on campus. The real world doesn't exist in your kid's grade school, because failing a test doesn't mean they fail the course. They get a participation award, and even if they can't read past a grade 3 level, like people you watch on this fucking Facebook show, I won't use his name, because you'd all just bitch at me for calling him out, but there's a person on this Facebook that you watch all the time shooting his mouth off, and he's got a grade 3 reading, writing, and comprehension level, spelling. Okay? But he's got a grade 12 diploma. He graduated. But he can't spell or read or write past about grade 3, maybe grade 4. But he's got a grade 12 diploma. Why? Because even today, it's worse in our schools. They all get participation awards. And when they step out of school, reality steps up and bitch slaps them right upside the fucking head. And they can't handle it. They can't cope with it. And what do? A lot of them are jumping off the fucking bridge right here in St. Catharines. That's what they're doing. Because we as parents are failing them. No, Maggie, I haven't. Maggie in the YouTube chat is asking, have you seen hashtag mycanadabook.com yet, Duke? No, I haven't. They're building a new building at the water plant on Woodward in Hamilton. I didn't notice that, Twistard. Yes, Mary, you're right. Kids, that's just it. Huh. It was going on 10 years ago. Well, my kids are in their mid-20s now. My oldest is 25. My youngest is 23. 10 years ago, when the youngest one was in high school, she's very much like me. She's very much, I believe in what I believe in, but if you can prove me wrong, I'll believe in what you prove to me to be right. Okay, she's very much like me. And she got sent home from grade 10 English class one day for telling her grade 10 English teacher, you suck the fun out of learning. And she actually got an F on a question that asked her opinion. And she brought it home to me and said, Dad, how screwed is this? Like, yeah, yes, Mary, your kid almost failed a course for disagreeing with her professor. I understand what you're saying. How fucked up is that? Like, how Hitlerish, how dictatorial is that? Right down to the level of brainwashing. You must comply. Yeah, she got sent home for telling her teacher that the teacher sucked the fun out of learning. And when the principal phoned me and told me that, I just laughed. I just laughed and hung up the phone. Oh, I have to apologize, folks. I don't really have a show set for tonight. I've had a really busy week. It's been a long 60-hour week. I don't really have a program set for tonight. If there's anything you guys would like to talk about, one thing I would like to touch on My Maggie Dick is telling me that mycanadabook.com is a replacement of Facebook because shit is going to hit the fan any day now. So check it out. It's a safe place with free speech. mycanadabook.com. Okay, Maggie, I'll go check it out. Hi, Lady Green Eyes. Hey, are you going to come out and join us tomorrow? We'll be back out in front of my buddy Chris at Geneva Street there. My favorite hangout. And you know what? I really don't care. Ron Devereaux may get mad at me if I tell people where we're going to be tomorrow, but yeah, we're going back in front of Chris Biddle's office. Fuck Chris Biddle. Hey, Brenda, you made it to a live show. Right on. Mary, it's no longer education. It's indoctrination. That's what it is. It's programming. Urban planning? Huh. I wouldn't even want to think about that, Mary. That's the geographical control of the population. Les? No, I haven't heard of anything up in Wingham. I know some people up that way, so maybe I should reach out. I know a fella in just outside of Wingham, and where the hell? In Lucknow. I was trying to think, why the hell can't I think of the town that Lucknow lives in? Oh yeah, because he lives in Lucknow. His name's Dwayne, and he lives in Lucknow. Let me reach out to a couple of guys, and I'll get back to you, Len. Okay? As far as I know, there is nobody active, at least on the street. Brother, go out and get started. Put on a yellow vest. Take a sign. Ron Devereaux and I, we were two guys for over a year before we had anybody coming out and joining us. Honest. Just the two of us. Every weekend for a year before we had people coming out and joining us. And Len, I know it sounds corny and cliche and like I'm stealing a line out of a movie, but it's true. If you build it, they will come. If you show to others that you've got the balls to stand out there, they'll come and join you. You just have to be the first. The other kids will skate out onto the frozen pond and play hockey with you if you skate out there first and prove to them the ice is safe to skate on. The same thing works with doing a yellow vest protest. Just get out there, even if it's just you. And what you do, I'm going to dip off camera here for a second because I got a couple of my signs right here. Okay? So what you do, you take a sign. This is one that I made up quite a while ago, okay, a couple of months ago. And now I've put it on a wire stand so that now that the ground is thawed, I can stick it in the ground. But during the winter, when it was frozen, and this is just a piece of foam board from the dollar store, $1.50 for this sheet. You get 2 Bristol board panels that fit it perfectly. They're the same size. 2 Bristol board panels for $1. Okay? The lettering, I I was just doing lettering yesterday. There's a package of stuff I've had open. That's one I've been taking letters out. Those packages, I think they're, $3. $3 for a pack of letters, okay? 8 sheets of cutout letters, peel and stick letters. That's what I use here. And I buy wide 2-inch packing tape, clear packing tape. And I just put tape right over top of the sign so it's waterproof, okay? Make up signs like this, even if all you get is a big magic marker like this son of a bitch right here. Look at how big that is. That thing's huge, right? Even if that's all you use to draw letters, right? Make your sign, take the tape, go to a telephone pole at the intersection, put the tape across the sign around the pole. Don't pull it too tight because you'll cave the sign, right? Just tight enough that the wind's not going to blow it around too much. Stick it to the pole on the back, right? Take it around and tape it. Bring it right around and wrap it a couple of times. When you're done your protest, you break the tape, you peel it off the pole, you peel it off the front of your sign because it's already got tape. The fresh tape that you just put on, it peels right off. So you peel it off the front of your sign, you peel it off the post. You're not leaving a mess anywhere. The city, local businesses, local neighbors aren't going to bitch and complain that you're making a huge mess. But a post helps you carry other signs, okay? So that's just one way that you can utilize a telephone pole, a no parking sign, right? There's lots of ways you can put other signs up. While you're carrying one, the telephone pole can be holding another. Go down the street and put one on the side of the bus stop. Tape it to the bus stop shelter, right? So that people walking up to the bus stop shelter see it. Just tape it. And if somebody complains, well, you take the tape off, you take the sign down, and sorry, thanks, have a nice day. Right? Because we all know that in Canadian, have a nice day translate to go fuck yourself. But you take the sign down, you look at it and go, have a nice day. So, but in the meantime, if it's been up for half an hour, that's a half an hour. Somebody's been looking at it and you haven't had to hold it, right? So there's lots of ways to get your signs up there, even if you're all by yourself, right? Lots of ways to get visibility. You can put them on telephone poles. This one I wanted to show you. This is one I've had for a while now. This one here, it's, as you can see, it's kind of bowed out in the middle. It's got a permanent curve to it from being wrapped around telephone poles, and I needed to firm it up, stiffen it up a bit. So from work, I got these big sheets of cardboard. These are what we lay down in a pallet between layers of machined parts, okay? So we have these totes, plastic totes, square boxes, put a layer of parts in, put a layer of this cardboard down, put more parts on top, a layer of cardboard, right? So I asked the boss, hey, can I get a couple of sheets of those? He said, yeah, help yourself. I lucked out. I grabbed 8 or 10 of these. So I got a pretty good supply of these nice big sheets of cardboard. They're good and heavy and solid. It looks to me like they're 3-layer corrugated cardboard. So they're pretty solid cardboard. And I figured, see, now that's... There you see the problem with cheap dollar store letters. They don't stick all that well, which is why I have... One of the things I bought at the dollar store was a kid's glue stick. And I use a glue stick and just tack the letters down with a glue stick and then tape over everything. So this big piece of cardboard, I just made a nice contrasting color to this so that it stands out, right? It's visibly popping to the eye, the hot pink. I'm going to add honk across the top and honk across the bottom just to fill the space in a bit. But all I did was a pink border. There's no pink in behind here. Why waste the pink paper that I pay for? There's no pink in behind that. And I bought a cheap $3, including a bag of glue sticks, $3 glue gun in the craft section at the dollar store. And that's what I used to glue this down onto the cardboard. So all around the edge, it's got a good solid seam, a good solid connection with a hot glue gun. So that's pretty solid. And this letter is still loose under my thumb again. So once I finish lettering the top of that and the bottom of it, then I'm going to cover the whole thing in tape, and it will be nice and strong. I can then put that on a telephone pole, and this cardboard isn't going to bend. It will bend this way easily because the ribs run that way. The corrugation, the ribbed plastic or ribbed cardboard inside, the ribs run this way, so it'll fold this way, but not this way, which is how I will be applying pressure around a telephone pole when I tape it up, right? So it should give me some good mileage yet. I hope to get another couple of months out of this sign during the good weather. It survived all the wind and the snow and everything else in the wintertime. There's a link in the Facebook chat for mycanadabook.com. Thank you, Scott, for posting that. Scott, I'm looking forward to you coming back down, buddy. Sorry, I missed a bunch of... I'm just trying to get caught up on some of the chat here. I missed a bunch while I was yakking and talking about my signs. Thank you, by the way, Phoebe. So back to Len and Wingham. Brother, just put on a vest. Get out there, even if you're by yourself. Yeah, it takes guts to be alone, to be the only one out there. But you're not going to be out there for long. And ask Scott. I got the dries real bad. Ask Scott. He'll tell you. You might be the only one standing there, but you're going to hear people drive by honking and giving you thumbs up. You're not the only one out there in spirit, brother. Believe me. Scott will tell you. He'll post in the chat room any minute now, and he'll tell you. I'll tell you, Maggie, or Phoebe rather, I'm going to get you my favorite sign. This is one that I carry around, and I'm about to put it on a big sheet of cardboard because it's taken such a beating. This sign gets so much response. People honk and give me thumbs up. I carry it around just like this. I'm going to have to put it onto a larger sheet of cardboard because it started ripping apart here. This is a dollar store. I think I forget what I paid for this. $2. Yeah, $2. And it comes from the dollar store. You can even get them in a solid black and put white letters on them. They come in different. This one was white, and I just, same way I made the other sign, just pasted the colored board over, or not pasted, but taped the colored board over. You can get red letters and black letters. This sign gets a lot of attention. I walk down the sidewalk carrying this, just like I've got it now. And unfortunately, this whole area in here is all, you can see how easily that bends. That's from me holding it in the wind, and the wind trying to blow it out of my hand. And that's how it got ripped up here, is from the wind trying to blow it out of my hand. This top is pretty beat up from me hanging on to it. This thing's, I've been carting this around every weekend for like, since before Christmas. So it went all through most of the winter and took a beating in the cold weather. And this is just cardboard. I haven't taped over the back. So the back of this was absorbing moisture, when it was snowing and foggy and stuff. It's taken a beating over time. So I'm going to have to put it on a big sheet of cardboard like the one I just showed you. And I'm working right now. I'm trying to find, sorry if you can't hear me that well, I keep stepping away from the microphone. I'm looking online for, let me see if I can find one of these. I know I have it. Oh, that's in the slideshows. Dun, dun, dun. Don't go away. Is it in there? Nope. Not in that one. Oh, for crying out loud. Where did that picture go? Okay, one of you people stole my picture. Wow. What the hell? There. Hang on. Don't go away, folks. I found the two pictures I wanted, and now I can show them to you. Yay. Uh-huh. And that one. Okay, so now we go there. Hi, everybody. That picture and this picture. So those two pictures are going to be used to make posters or signs using some of that big cardboard that I've got. So let's come back here. Okay, so this one, get involved, it's time to take back Canada. That picture, the fella that did the printing, I know you've seen, or most of you have seen pictures of the back of my truck with the white lettering that says it's not about liberal versus PC, it's all about Canada versus globalism. The local company, print shop, that did that lettering for me, I went in to see him. He remembered me, asked me, instantly, without, it was kind of freaky that he remembered me. I went in, I pulled out a thumb drive, and I asked him about printing those two pictures, the Screw the UN and the Take Back Canada. He looked at what I had on my thumb drive and said, I've got to find a better source for the pictures, because to blow them up, they're going to be pixelated. So I found a better source. I'm going to see him tomorrow morning before I go to Niagara Falls. The one that says Take Back Canada, I'm going to get that blown up into a 24-inch by 24-inch size. It will fill this area. Across the top here, it's going to say, join us today. And at the bottom, my email address. So people will be able to contact us, and a great big picture like that I'm sure anybody on Facebook that's Canadian has seen that picture, okay? The UN is going to get the same thing. It will be lower down on the page because I need 4 lines at the top. So I need 3 lines of text at the top for the Screw the UN picture. It's going to say Keep Canada Canadian and the UN picture. And down here it says themythiscanada.com. All in one word, themythiscanada.com. In small type, because I bought smaller letters, 1.5 inch high letters. I found them at Michael's craft store. They just opened one here in Western St. Catharines, and I found 1.5 inch tall letters. So I'm going to put down here in smaller letters, themythiscanada.com. The picture itself will come down to about here, and at the top it's going to say Keep Canada Canadian with the Screw the UN picture on there. These two pictures here, so I'll show you again which two. So that one will go in the back with this yellow border. Get involved, it's time to take back Canada. And this blue one, the Screw the UN picture, that's going to get a hot pink, same as this here. That against the blue, I think that'll make it pop out. It'll get a hot pink border, and across the top of it, it's going to say Keep Canada Canadian, and along the bottom in 1.5 inch high lettering, it's going to say themythiscanada.com. And I'm going to put these two onto a sandwich board, so they'll sit one on each side, kind of like an A-frame sign, right? That'll sit on the ground out beside the sidewalk at the side of the road. So that's what I've been busy doing, and working 60 hours a week. What's your week been like, folks? I'm missing comments here in the Facebook chat. Sorry about that, folks. Scott, yeah, folks, you need to talk to Scott Rayner. Scott posts in the Facebook chat room, the hardest part is making the decision. Once you're out there, the feeling, words can't describe. Reach out to a few friends. He's right. He's right. When I owned my motorcycle shop back in the 90s, I was racing motorcycles, and drag racing, okay? I was drag racing motorcycles at 9.5 seconds in the quarter mile, 140 miles an hour in 9.5 seconds. And people would ask me, why do you want to go so fast on a motorcycle? Like, why? And I'd tell them, it's really no different than why Sir Edmund Hillary climbed mountains. And yet it's not that because it's there. In all honesty, if I have to explain it to you, you still wouldn't understand. Because it's not something that's up here. It's something down here. It is. It's. You've got to feel that rush of going that fast. You've got to feel that rush of people who've never met you, never gonna meet you, taking the time to take their foot off the gas, step on the brake, put down the passenger window, slow down, give you a thumbs up and yell, "Way to go, brother!" as they're driving by. The rush that gives you, I can't explain it to you. Scott can try. Oh, come on, OBS. Okay, are we back? OBS disconnected for a few minutes. Well, for a few seconds, anyhow. I can't describe to you that feeling. And Scott Rayner, he can try and tell you what it feels like. It's an adrenaline rush, but it's more than an adrenaline rush. It's I've had an adrenaline rush, dude. Trust me. It's more than that. It is. Julie McNamara says it's Patriot Love Rush. I don't know, but it's a fucking high, and it's more addictive than cigarettes or pot. Yeah, Dave Bondi says it makes you feel like you're doing something right. I don't know what it is, but like I can't go a weekend without going out and doing a protest. I need to be able to yell, "Thank you, comrade," to some guy who drives by and calls me a racist. Because he's one out of 100 people who drive up and tell me, "Thank you for doing what you're doing." Or they show up and they bring us a tray full of Timmy's coffee. Len, go get a vest. Wingham ain't that big a town. Half the people in town know you. The other half of town know the half that knows you. Okay? I used to get drunk in Wingham. Friends of mine, the Hunter family, had a cattle farm in Wingham. Dan Hunter. He lives out west now. His dad had a dairy farm in Wingham. I tried to get him to talk online last year about how the Milk Marketing Board controls the dairy farmers. But yeah, I know people in Wingham. So just get out there, dude. Honest, Len. Even if it's just you, it'll only be just you for a couple of weekends. And if people ask, give them your number or give them your email address. Or better yet, go make an email address. yellowvestwingham@gmail.com. And you know what? You get a free YouTube channel with it. Yeah. Create a Gmail account and you get a YouTube channel. That's how I created Canadian Truthers. Honest. CanadianTruthers@gmail.com, and it came with a YouTube channel. Do the same thing with Yellow Vest Wingham or Yellow Vest Lindsay, Yellow Vest Bob Cajun @gmail.com. And when you go out and do a protest, take your phone, take some video, post it to that little YouTube, post it to that little YouTube channel. Let people see it. Even if it's only 3 other people, that's 3 people you didn't otherwise reach. And they'll tell 2 people, and they'll tell 2 people, and they'll tell 2 people. It works, bud. How do you think this fat, ugly, old bearded motherfucker gets the word out? Because you told somebody, and they told somebody, and somebody told you. Okay? Get out there, Len. Each and every one of you. Get out there every Saturday from noon till 2. Pick a different street corner. Every weekend, go and pick a different street corner. Wingham is, take Highway 86 from Kitchener, Scott. So take the 401 into number 8. 401 West, number 8, Conestoga Parkway, takes you up into Kitchener. It becomes Highway 85 or 86, heading up towards Goderich. Wingham is about halfway to Goderich. You can't miss it. You'll go through Listowel and then into Wingham. Listowel's another good town, Len, right outside the liquor store. In fact, I know from the layout of the liquor store in Listowel, you could park right in their parking lot and protest the sidewalk right at the parking lot entrance to the liquor store, and you would hit 50% of the fucking population in Listowel because they're all a bunch of fucking drunks. Okay? I know, a buddy of mine used to be the manager of that liquor store in Listowel. So there you go. I know people up that end of town, up that area. We had a big chapter up there years ago. I don't know now, but years ago, back in the 80s, we had a pretty active chapter up that way. Lots of riders up there. So I know quite a few people up near the Wingham, Listowel, up that way, Bruce area. Even way up in Kincardine. So Len, just get out there, okay? And Scott, you too. Just get out there. In Lindsay, just even if it's just you. You saw how Ron made a couple of signs. He put a sign on the top and a sign on the bottom with a stick holding them together and a blank spot in the middle, and bungee corded that to a simple signpost right by where you were standing there last weekend, Scott. So you know how to turn one guy into half a dozen signs around an intersection. You saw how we did that last weekend, Scott. Do the same thing in Lindsay, brother. Turn yourself into half a dozen, right? There you go. Len, Scott, you guys connect. Make this happen. If you want help making the signs, give me a call. I'll help giving you some ideas. I sort of roughly gave you a little touch up tonight. I actually had my JVC VHS camera out videotaping while I made this sign out on the table. I videotaped it so that you can watch while I was doing it to see how it was done. But I just explained to you tonight how I made the sign, where the cardboard came from. But you don't need these big sheets that I have. I just happen to luck out to be able to get them from work. Maybe you can score some at work, maybe not. Maybe you can get sheets of plastic, you know, that corrugated plastic stuff. Maybe you have access to that. I don't know. Maybe your kids are really artistic and can draw really well. Get them to do the lettering, or your daughter or your son to do the lettering. Maybe you know a print shop in town. This print shop that's going to do up these pictures for me, I went to Staples to get them printed up, okay? I took the Take Back Canada with the red and white. Staples wanted $48 a piece to blow them up and print them into a 24 by 24 inch size. I went to my buddy the printer who did the back windows of my truck. He looked at them and said, "Oh, if they blew this up for you, it would look horrible. It'd be all pixelated." He said they'd charge you $50 for a piece of garbage. Did they tell you it would be all pixelated? I said, no. He said, we got to find a better copy. He said, this one is only 750 by 820 or something. We got to find a bigger copy to take the original from so we can blow it up. So that's what he and I are looking for. The price he quoted me, Staples wanted $48. 1 hour photo stop wants $15 each. I told him, print me both as soon as we can find them. Here's the $30, and I handed him the $30 yesterday afternoon. Said, as soon as you can find the copies somewhere, print them and let me know. So one of these is going to have Take Back Canada, and the other one is going to have Screw the UN for $15 each, large 24-inch by 24-inch photo. This print shop here, this guy's he's going out of his way to support me. If you haven't seen it, go on my YouTube and scroll back to this time last year.
Oi, you just got a text message.
That's nice. To this time last year, and you'll see where I got my truck lettered. He originally quoted me $150 to do the job plus taxes, and he waived the 50 and the taxes and said, just give me when I went and got it done, because I told him that I was paying for it with a $100 donation that someone had sent me, and I was kicking in the rest. And when I got it done, he said to me, tell you what, don't worry about the rest. Give me the $100. I support what you're doing. And he waived the 50 and the taxes, $100, lettered my truck. So I kind of went back to him to see about these signs and getting these pictures printed for $15 instead of $48. Folks, that's a third of the cost that Staples wanted. Some great big huge company that makes all kinds of money doing other stuff has to gouge me $48 per picture, and didn't bother telling me that I was going to pay $50 for a pixelated picture that would have looked like shit. But yet my buddy only charges $15. Oh, and in case you're wondering, he's from Egypt. Yeah. Far out, eh? Me, the big bad, racist white supremacist. Oh, that water's good. Nikki, cool, get us some pictures. Get some pictures. Nikki Hurley in the Facebook chat says my poster for tomorrow has du jour and solutions on it. Concerned. Let's just post that. Friggin' YouTube, I hate that they keep blocking messages. I'm sorry, folks. I try and keep up with it. Yes, Becky. Staples, I'll tell you though, Staples for some things is really reasonable. They actually, I went there because I got a copy of Ho Canada printed, and I wanted it printed on some fairly decent paper, and they have a nice book quality paper. So I had $100 138 pages or 148 pages, something like that, printed from the Ho Canada PDF file. And I have Ho Canada now in a printed format. That only cost me $63. I didn't think that was too bad. It's a heavier grade paper than what you would buy, say, well, in what I buy the basics bundles, right? I bought a box of 1,000 or is it 1,000 sheets, 10,000 sheets, a box with bundles of 1,000, right? This is pretty cheap paper for your printer. The stuff that I had Ho Canada printed on is actually a fairly good quality heavy paper. So it cost me a little bit more. But because I know I'm going to be beating the hell out of it, reading it and clipping it and drawing on it, right? This is it here. As you can see, there's quite a bit to it. And I'm drawing and writing on it. It's already getting a little dog-eared. But the paper itself is a real heavy grade compared to the stuff that you buy, you know, for your printer or your photocopier. This is a little bit heavier, well, quite a bit heavier grade thickness paper. It's got a nice smooth gloss to it. It's the kind of paper that you would actually find inside a hard-covered book. Okay? It's a good quality printed paper. So, but I paid for that because I know I'm going to be beating on this. It's going to get opened and closed and tossed around. The only binding I have for it is this clip. So I figured I better get it printed on pretty durable paper to begin with. Nikki, excellent. If you can do a live feed, that's even better. And like I say, all of you people, all of you, I don't care where you are, whatever tiny little town you're in, whether you're in Wingham or Lindsay or Nikki, wherever you're going to be, whether, like, I don't care where you are, do a Gmail account, get a YouTube channel, and start posting your videos of your Saturday afternoon protests. That's called getting the word out, people. It's up to you to do it. Like, I do it. When it's Ron and I, you see me, I'm on Facebook. I put it out to YouTube as well. Okay? I can't live stream to YouTube, but I can live stream to Facebook. And from Facebook, I pump it over to YouTube after the fact. You guys can do the same. It's called getting the word out. And then on your posters, you can put that email address. Like on here, I'm putting my personal Gmail address on the bottom of this poster. It's going to say dukewillis@gmail.com. And across the top, it's going to say join us today. So in Wingham, Ontario, Len, you put join us today. And whatever picture or poster or message you want to put in the middle. And at the bottom, you put Yellow Vest Wingham @gmail.com. Or Yellow Vest Lindsay Scott @gmail.com. Okay? Just go make the Gmail accounts. And you get a YouTube channel automatically when you make the Gmail account. So go make the Gmail account. Then you don't have to give people your personal email address, but John Q. Public has a way of reaching you, and you know that if you get an email, a message to Yellow Vest Wingham, you know that it's only coming from somebody who saw your fucking sign when you were out there. And they're either going to support you or they're going to shoot you. One or the other. So answer the goddamn email. It's not that hard. It's all about getting the word out, folks. And we've all got to work at it. The time has come to leave the comfort zone of your Facebook keyboard and monitor. Okay, Green Eyes, pop your idea up to me. Or send it by email at dukewillis@gmail.com if you want. Staples does not support yellow vest. I haven't walked into Staples wearing my yellow vest, Becky. I should, maybe. That would fuck them right up. Does this mean my... Concerned Canadian asks, does this mean my bastard king of Canada at Gmail has a YouTube account? I don't know when they started this YouTube account, Gmail account connection sort of thing. I don't know when they started that. So, I don't know. Maybe go check. Oh, Becky, in the YouTube chat, Becky says, we've been called faggots, racist, and told to get a job. Ha ha ha. Little do they know we fight for their rights. I won't even repeat the things that I've been called, Becky. It's not worth it. I just look at them and say, thank you, comrade. Have a nice day. Because have a nice day in Canadian means go fuck yourself. Honest. Have a nice day means go fuck yourself. We Canadians just, it's the rest of the world thinks we're polite. It's just a facade that we put on. They don't know, right? They think we have a nice day. Yeah, meanwhile, we're telling them all to go fuck themselves. Have a nice day. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, you're a fucking asshole. Your mother thinks you're special, but the rest of us think you're an asshole. Have a nice day. Because we're friendly Canadians, right? Stupid fucking people. Yeah, honest, Becky, it works. Have a nice day! It's just Canadian for go fuck yourself. Honest, go check the Bob and Doug McKenzie dictionary. Go check it out. I don't even know if that fucking exists, but it should. I should create the Bob and Doug McKenzie dictionary. Have a nice day. Translation, go fuck yourself. Take off, eh? Get stuffed. Loretta, I just saw Loretta Eng here in the Facebook chat. Is she in here? I've lost track of who's talking to who. Loretta, if you're in Toronto, let me know. Maybe we can get together tomorrow. I'm busy as hell, but I might be able to squeeze an hour's worth of time in Toronto or close to Toronto. So Green Eyes, if you can make it tomorrow, noon to 2 o'clock in front of my buddy Biddle's office, Where it all started 18 months ago. No, Loretta, if you're not in Toronto, you're doing a lot better off. The last place you want to be in the world is Toronto. Toronto's a shithole. Oops, did I say that out loud? Bad dookie. So where are you going to be tomorrow, Becky? Concerned Canadian in the YouTube chat room says, and the thesaurus would be from Relic, from the Beachcombers. Oh my god. I completely forgot about Relic. I loved Relic. He was the atypical Canadian asshole. I loved Relic. I loved Relic. Earlier today, I had to drop Amanda. I had to drop my girlfriend in Hamilton. She's gone to see her parents. They come in and meet us halfway in Hamilton because it's about an hour, just over an hour's drive one way to her parents' place. So they come and meet us part way. She's gone there for Mother's Day weekend. And on the way there, we were talking about Al Bundy, Archie Bunker, and Red, the dad from That 70s Show. And that there's a little bit of all three of them in me. And yeah, now that you mention it, Concerned, I'd have to say there's a little bit of Relic from the Beachcombers tossed in there as well. John Baird, I'm trying to figure out why that's all. Okay, I'm just going to show the post. Alright, Green Eyes, well, if you can make it out, you know where we're going to be tomorrow. If you can make it out there between noon and 2. They are remaking the Archie Bunker show. No, Loretta, no, I can't get to Toronto Sunday. I'm sorry, it's Mother's Day, and I got too much going on with my kids do Mother's Day for me. I've been, believe it or not, I get Mother's Day and Father's Day. Lucky me. Plus, my mom, I don't know how many more Mother's Days I'm going to have with her, so... Sorry, Sunday is Mother's Day. I'll probably do a really short show Sunday night. Simply because I'm going to have a long day Sunday. It's why we're not doing a rally here in Niagara on Sunday, because it's Mother's Day. So no, I'm sorry, I can't make it to Toronto on Sunday. See your rant above. You will love it. Lady Green Eyes. Rip, yes, I want to grab that arse and overthrow. Let's face it, they can't put us all in jail if we band together. No, I think maybe maybe this rant. food as well. This is frickin' nuts. I paid $7.30 for one friggin' cabbage yesterday. And by the way, what does one need to become a PM? LOL. My rant for the night, all. I'm just pissed off. You know, LOL. Sigh. Well, Green Eyes, come on out tomorrow and you can scream and yell at John Q. Public. They drive around with their windows open now, so you can yell at them and tell them all kinds of stuff. I talk to people all the time during our sidewalk protest. Last weekend, in 2 days last weekend, I gave away 30 DVDs. In 2 days, in 4 hours. Good night, Loretta. Good night, Nikki. See you, Nikki. What time is it? Is it getting late? Yeah, it's 10:30. Dave Delisle says he has a bit of George Carlin and Rodney Dangerfield in him. Yeah, I have a little bit too much George Carlin sarcasm in me for people to like me much. And as for a remake of the Archie Bunker show, the one reason they could never remake the Archie Bunker show is the same reason they could never remake The Odd Couple with Felix Unger and Oscar Madison. The society that could appreciate that kind of irony and satire as humor doesn't exist anymore. That's a sad thing. When people get butthurt over what is really humor. Like, it was funny to hear an exaggeratedly loud toilet flush, and then Archie comes stomping down the stairs with the newspaper tucked under his arm. 'Cause that was just like everybody's old man did, right? It's like, and whether your little politically correct university students want to admit it or not, it's just like their old man does today, and they're gonna do 40 fucking years from now. 'Cause that's just how it is, right? And yes, Loretta, you're right. Political correctness has got to go. See, that's where I agree. George Carlin, me and George Carlin, we agree on that. Political correctness is just communism disguised as manners. Well, yeah, John, Archie, the new Archie Bunker show won't be anything like it was before. Humor is almost dead. Yes, it is, sadly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap things up. I need another bottle of water. This one's empty, and for some reason, well, I know what reason it is. This friggin' changing weather is just driving my sinuses nuts. Thursday we had... You want to know how screwed up the weather's been here in Niagara? Thursday, at noon hour Thursday, in St. Catharines, here in Niagara North, at Lake Ontario, it was 9 degrees. 32 kilometers away, in Port Colborne, at the other end of the Welland Canal, in Niagara South, along the shores of Lake Erie, it was 25 degrees with a humidex of 30. From St. Catharines to Port Colborne, from 9 to a humidex of 30. Go figure. You can get in your car and drive from St. Catharines to Port Colborne in the right time of day with no traffic, 25-30 minutes at the most, because it's 2-lane 80 kilometer 50 mile an hour 2-lane county road for most of the trip, all along the Welland Canal. But like a 25-minute 30-minute car ride, half hour, you're in Port Colborne. From 9 degrees where you want to wear a coat to 30 degrees. It's nuts. No wonder my sinuses are going crazy. Meathead. I used to love Archie and Meathead. And Al Bundy and what the hell was her name? The neighbor, Marcy Darcy. Al Bundy and Marcy, they were atypical, just like Archie and Meathead were atypical personalities. Okay, Al Bundy and Marcy Darcy are perfect. I don't know how long the casting director shopped around to find the right characters or the right actors for those characters, but the two of them fell into those characters, both Carol O'Connor and and now I can't, Rob, I'll think of his name at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, Rob Reiner, who played Meathead, who played the Gloria's husband in All in the Family. The two of them fell right in perfectly into their roles. So did, though, if you go back and look at it, and I know this is a little nostalgia here, let me just take a little momentary lap down memory lane here for a minute. And if you think about it, there's probably people, I know I'm like this. And maybe that's one of the reasons why all these years I've remembered this one little episode. Years and years ago, Jack Klugman, back when the TV show The Odd Couple with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall was on TV and really popular, Jack Klugman appeared on the Johnny Carson show. And he explained something about him and Tony Randall that really hit home with me, and has always, since that time, it's always kind of stuck in my head as a way of sort of recognizing people and appreciating them still, despite the fact that you can recognize them the way Jack Klugman describes them, by describing himself. In this interview with Johnny Carson, Jack Klugman says that he attributes the success of the show to the fact that the two actors, much like the two actors who played Archie Bunker and the son-in-law Meathead, much like those two actors fit the characters, Jack Klugman points out how he fits the Oscar Madison, Oscar the Grouch, Oscar Madison character, the slob, and how Tony Randall fits the prim and proper, perfect Felix Unger character. And he described it this way. He said, just as a loose quote, he said, Tony Randall is the kind of guy that you can give him a garbage bag to put on, and in 5 minutes, he'll have it looking like a 3-piece suit. I'm the kind of guy you can give him a 3-piece suit, and in 5 minutes, it looks like a garbage bag. That's how Jack Klugman described himself and Tony Randall, and if you think about it, that's exactly what their characters were. And in case you're wondering, I'm a Jack Klugman more than a Tony Randall. You can put me in a 3-piece suit, and in 5 minutes I make it look like a garbage bag or a potato sack. But I know guys like Ed Jamnisek, you could put them in a potato sack, and in 5 minutes he'll make it look like a nice pressed shirt and collar and the whole bit. I know people that are like that, and I'm sure you do too, and you probably know people that are like me. It just, I wear clothes. They don't wear me well. And yes, Meathead is a libtard now, but if you go back and watch that show, Maggie, Meathead was a libtard back then, and that's what Archie was calling him out on, without calling him a Democrat libtard. Phoebe, which show are you talking about where the dialogue was ad-libbed? Oh, okay, I just scrolled up. On the All in the Family, that dialogue, to be honest with you, I watched a short little documentary that Rob Reiner and Gloria Steiner did. It was an interview that they did. They were interviewed for this short little documentary that I saw on a PBS channel years ago, and it was documenting and talking about how unique that show was, because all they did was storyboard it and then let the actors fill in the blanks. So you're right in saying that it wasn't scripted. It was just ad-libbed. It wasn't 100% ad-libbed. They went in and had a general sort of production meeting where they looked at the show in a storyboard form, kind of like cartoon drawings of scene and scene, with a little bit of dialogue, like you'd see in, like a comic book sort of thing, right? So they got an idea of where the script was supposed to go and where the scene was supposed to go, but they were such committed actors, and as much as I hate Rob Reiner for the little closet communist that he was back then, before his ego took over. He was a really good actor, and so was Carol O'Connor. Carol O'Connor was a method actor in modern terms. He became the character. He became Archie, right? And I forget the name of the World War II war movie that he was in, and he played a general, I think it was. But the character just flowed out of him. Another actor that was like that was Robin Williams. If you ever saw Robin Williams, go watch the movie, the Kingfisher. Go watch that. That's probably one of the most amazing dramatic roles that Robin Williams was ever in. And you can see that he's a method actor. He feels the part. He lives the character. And Archie Bunker, that's how Carol O'Connor made Archie come to life. And it's why that show didn't need a script, because those actors actually brought those characters' personalities to life on the show, live on stage. It was an amazing program. And believe it or not, a lot of MASH wound up being ad-libbed, because not Alan Alda, the other guy, whose name I can't remember, Honeycutt, but what was his real name? The actor. He had a problem remembering the lines. And a lot of it was ad-libbed. And it's why they break down and start laughing all the time, because they kept screwing up the lines. Yeah, Maggie says she always wanted Archie to get up and smack Meathead upside the head. The problem is that would That would violate who Archie was. Archie was opinionated, but not physically violent. Kelly's Heroes. Is that the one that Carol O'Connor was in? Scott Rayner says the good old days when TV was good. Today, nothing but crap. I don't know. I don't watch TV anymore. I haven't watched TV. I shouldn't say that. Amanda records Forged in Fire. And every once in a while, she and I will sit down and watch like 3 or 4 episodes of Forged in Fire. But because it's recorded, we fast forward through any commercials and all the bullshit, so all I have to watch is the real show. Gloria, stop whining, little girl. Lady Green Eyes, could you imagine all the 20-somethings at Niagara College and Brock University, if they saw a TV show where somebody was sitting in an armchair and turned around to his wife and yelled, "Edith, stifle yourself!" Their friggin' heads would explode. It'd be priceless. "Edith, go get me a beer." They'd freak. "Why is he giving her orders like that? Why doesn't she tell him to get stuffed?" Dave, thank you. Yes. Rat Patrol. Dave Delisle says that Rat Patrol is the movie where Carol O'Connor plays a general. And I got to tell you, folks, if you go look at Al Bundy really is just your typical average blue-collar, working stiff, no different than anybody else. Sum up my life in one simple sentence: that didn't go as planned. That's Al Bundy. That's you. That's me. That's each and every one of us. Why people get bent out of shape over that, I have no idea. But they do. I'm just trying to keep up with the chats here, folks, not trying to ignore you. Yeah, you're right, Lady Green Eyes. If we were to say the N-word now like Archie did back then, wow, we'd be in trouble. It was all in fun, but no one knows that anymore. You should hear my girlfriend. She drops the N-word all the time. Mind you, she's black. She can get away with it. But still, it's like, oh my God, she's horrible. She is. She's horrible. Kelly's Heroes. Okay, we're getting a rundown here in the YouTube chat room on Carol O'Connor's movie history. According to Concerned Canadian, he was only a corporal in Rat Patrol, and he was a general in Kelly's Heroes. All right, there we go. And Phoebe Long says, Mike Farrell from MASH. Yes, thank you, Phoebe. He had a hell of a time remembering lines. He would screw them up all the time. And you know, ironically enough, Les Smith, the band that I play a lot of music from, Trick Bag from Hamilton, Les isn't with them anymore. He left the band about a year ago. He's now singing with Crowbar. Crowbar is still an active band. Oh, What a Feeling, Oh, What a Rush. Canadian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Crowbar. They're from Hamilton. And Les Smith, who, in the recordings that I've got, he sings with Crowbar and plays harmonica, or not with Crowbar, with Trickbag. Plays harmonica with Trickbag. Les has a real bad time remembering lyrics for songs. And one of the songs they do is a song written by Richard Newell, and it's called Now I'm Good. I used to be a bad boy, but now I'm good. And because Les couldn't ever remember the right words for it, whenever I went to go see them play, and they'd do that song, he'd always change the words around and start singing about me instead of the actual lyrics, because it was easier for him to make up bullshit lyrics about me and my Mustang or me and my Panhead and bullshit his way through the song that way, because he couldn't remember the real words to the song. It was hilarious. We'd get to the end of the song, the band had stopped for a second, and Donna Pajisak, the singer, she'd look at Les and go, "You screwed that all up again." He screwed up their songs all the time. He has terrible memory for remembering the lyrics to songs. Just like Mike Farrell had a real problem remembering the lines in the show MASH. Hogan's Heroes was a good show also. Yes, it was. I know nothing. Maggie Dick says the black people I follow love white people. Maggie, you know what's really fucked up? I follow people. I don't know if they're black or white or green or purple. But then, see, I'm just a little bit fucked up. Because, according to my federal member of parliament and a whole bunch of people here in St. Catharines, I'm a racist white supremacist living with a black chick who was adopted and raised by a white family. Yeah, go figure that out. How's that for fucking with your head? Nobody's commenting on that. What did he just say, Vern? Yeah. That just woke y'all up, didn't it? Wait a minute. Ralphie Trudeau would be a good Schultz. You just lost me on that comment, Dave. I just heard somewhere where on the radio, I think it was earlier this week, Penny Marshall from Laverne and Shirley, Julie McNamara. How we go off in tangents on the left. Let's just go off and see where this takes us. Julie McNamara in the Facebook chat room says she liked Laverne and Shirley, and earlier this week it was Penny Marshall from Laverne and Shirley. She played Laverne. It was Penny Marshall's 76th birthday earlier this week, and that's when I realized, holy fuck, I'm getting old. Sanford and Son. I loved Sanford and Son. It's the big one, Edith. I'm coming. It's the big one. I loved Sanford. Red Fox was one of the dirtiest stand-up comedians of his time. If you can find some early Red Fox stand-up comedy, you got to keep in mind when he was doing it. Like late 50s, 60s, early 70s, when he was doing his stand-up comedy in Vegas. It wasn't any, Andrew Dice Clay kind of thing, but for the time period that he was doing it, he was pushing the fucking envelope. He was right out there. He was pushing the race button a lot. And the language button. This was back at a time when George Carlin was getting booted off the air for saying the 7 words you can't say on television, right? Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, motherfucker, cocksucker, tits. The 7 words you can't say on television. Well, Red Fox, he was out there saying those 7 words, not on television, but to live audiences, at a time when you just didn't do that kind of thing. And then they put him on nationwide TV, on Sanford and Son. There was a lot of controversy about that. There was. I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in Niagara and we had exposure to American TV channels and we had Canadian TV channels that were like CHCH out of Buffalo, City TV when it first started as a UHF. It was only on channel 57 out of Toronto on UHF for a long time. That was the only way you could get City TV even before it went on cable. But those local channels, CTV, Global, CHCH, a couple of channels out of the Windsor area in London, Ontario, they were the only ones that would raise a stink about what American channels were allowing or broadcasting, and it was being brought into Canadian airwave areas. So the Americans were letting us see and hear and learn things that the CBC didn't want us to know, or sorry, not the CBC. Let me be correct. The CRTC, the Canadian Radio and Television Communications Agency, they're the ones that control everything, from radio to television to commercials to Canadian content. They didn't want that American content coming into Canadian airwaves. Sorry, I'm just reading Green Eye's rant here. Well, Green Eyes, I understand what you're saying about the price of food and that seniors can't afford it. My parents are hurting just as everybody else. Trust me. They're in their 80s and living off less than what fucking welfare pays after working 50 years of their lives. 100 years between the two of them. But no, I hate to say this, the answer isn't more community garden share, because that's not solving the problem for everyone. That's not solving the problem. That's just a Band-Aid. What we need is people getting involved in constitutional conventions. But it's 10:30 at night, almost 11 o'clock at night. My alarm went off at 5 this morning, and I've got a real big show coming up for you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Roger Landry. Now, my OBS has frozen here, or at least my Facebook has. That pisses me off. Tomorrow night is Roger Landry, and you do not want to miss this show tomorrow night. Doug Force is going to join us. For those of you who haven't checked him out yet, please go check out libertybeacon.com. This is the network of web pages managed by Roger Landry and the Liberty Beacon. He has been doing what we're doing. He's been spreading the truth for over a decade, okay? The man is former U.S. military intelligence. He knows his stuff, all right? And we're going to talk to him tomorrow. My question to him tomorrow is going to be, will the U.S. make it to a 2020 election? There's lots of talk that the U.S. ain't going to get that far. There's going to be violence and civil war before the next Trump election because the left is worried that Trump is going to get even more support, more votes, and more of a landslide victory in 2020. And if that happens, they know that they're done for. They being the cabal. For lack of better terms, let's just call them the cabal. We can call them the evil Death Star. We can call them whatever you want, but the cabal is a very simple name for the New World Order, a one world government. The Pope, the cocksucking motherfucking twisted, warped bastard that he is. I don't care. Call it whatever you want. The cabal works for me. A one word, one name covers all. Everything evil fits under the cabal. So, we're going to pack it in, folks. I want to thank you very much for sticking it out with me tonight. I want to remind everyone I have not yet gotten a new video, promotional video for Music Fest for Vets, July 19th, 20th, and 21st, 30 minutes outside of Ottawa. Music Fest for Vets. Be there. Go to it's a weekend-long rally. Everything raised goes to helping veterans. There's, I think Eric told me, a total of 16 bands over the 3-day weekend. It's only 30 minutes from Ottawa. You can go to the Music Fest for Vets, camp for the weekend, have a great weekend, and then for 4 hours, come into Ottawa, come to the rally at Parliament Hill from 3 till 7 p.m. on Saturday, July 20th. Then go back out to Music Fest for Vets and party the weekend away. What more can you ask for? It's a great weekend in Ottawa. July 19, 20, 21, Music Fest for Vets and Canadians for Canada Part 2. The Canadian Combat Coalition Ottawa Rally, July 20th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it's not in the hot part of the day. We're not going to be cooking you out there on the lawn in front of Parliament Hill. Folks, until tomorrow night, Doug Force, Roger Landry, I can't wait to hear these two guys start picking each other's. I know what's going to happen. Doug is going to throw out a little teaser and see if Roger takes the bait. And Roger's going to throw out a little teaser because he's going to say, oh, in his head, Roger is going to go, oh, well, you know about that, do you? Well, let's see if you know about this. And he'll quote some U.S. law just to see if Doug is sharp enough to catch up on it, right? And Doug, being, I know, he's as sharp as a friggin' tack, okay? Doug will go, oh, yeah, I know about that. It matches with this. And Roger will be like, oh, you do know about that. It's going to be an amazing conversation watching these two guys duke it out mentally over, well, what do you think about this issue? What do you think about that issue? Well, I think this, but that's different. It's going to be a great conversation to just sit back and watch these two minds explore each other, because that's what's going to happen tomorrow night. They've never met before, okay? I wanted to reach out to Roger to see if he wanted to talk to Doug ahead of time and get to know him a little bit before the show, but Roger hasn't been available. I didn't have internet yesterday for a while. We didn't have hydro here for a while yesterday. I think somebody hit a telephone pole or something near us, because we didn't have internet until sometime overnight. It came back on. So I couldn't get a hold of Roger last night. So needless to say, Roger and Doug have never met. And I feel like the weird scientist. I'm putting two chemicals together, and let's see what the reaction is. It should be pretty good. I'm thinking Doug and Roger are going to be like, wow, cool. I am. I know it's maybe I'm reading more into it. Maybe it's going to turn into a big, huge disaster and they're going to hate each other, but I don't think so. I think the two of them are going to surprise each other with how much they both know about the same topics. I really do. I think, and that's where I think my audience, where you folks are going to benefit, because you're going to see how Roger's going to talk about things going on in the U.S., and Doug is going to talk about how those very same things are examples or duplicates or can be related to something that's going on here in Canada. Because that's also part of what I'm hoping for tomorrow night. So I'm really excited about tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night's going to be an amazing show. Doug Force and Roger Landry right here on Politically Speaking, 9 p.m. my time, Ontario time that is. Tomorrow night, Politically Speaking. Until then, folks, last year's promo video from Music Fest for Vets. Say goodnight, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your Friday night with me. We'll see you tomorrow night, Politically Speaking, 9 p.m. right here on Facebook and YouTube. Duke Willis. Twitter at Patriot_Duke.
As the tanks roll out, they always blow my mind. I hear the word from the subs to keep an eye on the skies. As the bombs go off, they leave me empty inside. The fear and the
Anyone in Niagara tomorrow, 12 noon to 2 o'clock, St. Catharines, Saturday afternoon, the corner of Church and Geneva, right in front of Chris Biddle's office. Make it loud, make it proud, tell this bigot Biddle where we Canadians think he can go. Come join Ron and the boys.
10,000 miles and we're finally home. Don't hold back until we die. I'm so high I can touch the sky. Don't hold back until we die. Till we die. Till we die. Yeah.
This is Gary Gnu.
Hi,
And
everybody.
no
It's
Gnu
Friday
is
night.
good Gnu show.
Welcome to the patio.
Only TV Gnu's program guaranteed to contain no Gnus whatsoever.
Canadian Combat Coalition, because their leader has got balls this fucking big, and he don't mind telling you how it is. Duke Willis, only one I respect.